Days turned into weeks, and despite his initial frustration, Daniel found himself drawn to her. They clashed often, their debates over strategy turning into late-night discussions under the stars. She spoke of a childhood split between a small Texas town and overseas missions with her father, a diplomat, but her stories were vague, her eyes distant. He began to notice quirks: her fluency in Arabic, her uncanny ability to predict enemy movements, her refusal to discuss family beyond those fleeting mentions. One night, after a grueling patrol, he called her sweetheart again, half-joking, testing the waters. Her laugh was sharp, but her gaze softened, and for a moment, he saw vulnerability. That night, they shared a kiss, a breach of protocol that neither regretted until the truth began to surface. It started with an encrypted message intercepted by their intel team, a name that matched Elena's but tied to a different story. Daniel, curious, dug deeper, accessing restricted files with a friend's help. What he found stunned him: Elena Vasquez wasn't just a soldier. She was a covert operative, planted by a shadowy intelligence agency, her mission to monitor the unit for potential leaks. The Texas childhood? A cover. Her father? A fabricated identity. The skills, the defiance, it all made sense now. She was a chameleon, trained to blend in, to manipulate. The realization hit him like a punch: their connection, her warmth, had been part of the act. Or had it? Confronting her was a risk, but Daniel couldn't ignore the betrayal gnawing at him. He waited until they were alone, the desert night wrapping them in silence. "Who are you, Elena?" he asked, his voice raw. She froze, her mask slipping for a fraction of a second before she recovered. "You've been digging, haven't you?" she replied, her tone icy. He laid out the evidence, the agency ties, the falsified records, and watched her face harden. "Yes," she admitted finally, "I'm not who you think. But what we had, that was real." Daniel wanted to believe her, but trust was a luxury he couldn't afford. Yet, as she spoke, detailing her coerced recruitment and the lives she'd saved undercover, doubt crept in. Was she a villain or a pawn? The plot thickened when an assassination attempt on a visiting general pointed back to their unit. Elena's instincts kicked in, and she thwarted it, saving Daniel's life in the process. The attacker, captured, revealed a conspiracy within the agency. Elena was a target, her cover blown by a traitor. Suddenly, she wasn't just a spy, she was a fugitive, and Daniel was her only ally. They went off-grid, evading pursuit across the desert, their bond tested by gunfire and betrayal. Along the way, she confessed more: her real name, Sofia Alvarez, a woman who'd lost everything to the agency's machinations, forced into this life to protect her younger brother, still hidden somewhere. Daniel's heart ached. He'd fallen for a ghost, yet the woman beneath was more human than he'd imagined. Their escape led to a safe house, where Sofia's handler, a grizzled ex-CIA operative named Marcus, awaited. He confirmed her story but warned of a mole in their midst, someone close to Daniel. Paranoia set in as they pieced together clues, pointing to Sergeant Mike Torres, a trusted NCO. The confrontation was brutal. Mike confessed, tears streaming, claiming he'd been blackmailed over his family's safety. Sofia's mercy spared his life, but the trust was shattered. With Marcus's help, they devised a plan to expose the agency's corruption, using Sofia's intel to broadcast evidence to the Pentagon. The climax came in a tense standoff, Sofia and Daniel surrounded by agency hitmen in an abandoned warehouse. Her quick thinking with a rigged explosive bought them time, and Daniel's leadership rallied a rescue team. The evidence aired, the conspiracy unraveled, and Sofia's name was cleared, but at a cost. Marcus didn't survive the fight, and Sofia chose to disappear, her brother's safety her priority. Daniel watched her go, her final sweetheart, a bittersweet farewell. He returned to his unit, a hero yet hollow, knowing he'd loved a woman who'd never truly be his. If you love your mom and dad, hit that subscribe button and show some love to her. Now, tell me, from which part of the country are you watching this video? In the dusty haze of a desert military outpost, where the sun beat down mercilessly and the American flag fluttered weakly against the wind, Captain Daniel Hargrove stood tall, his weathered face etched with years of command. His piercing gaze locked onto the defiant figure before him, Lieutenant Elena Vasquez, a soldier with a reputation for both brilliance and insubordination. The tension between them crackled like static, a silent battle of wills, until she leaned in close, her voice low and challenging. Call me sweetheart again, she hissed, her eyes blazing with a mix of fury and something unreadable. The words hung in the air, a dare wrapped in a threat, and Daniel felt a jolt of intrigue amidst his irritation. Little did he know, this moment would unravel a web of secrets that would redefine everything he thought he understood about her and himself. The outpost was a rugged sprawl of tents and sandbags, a temporary home for the 101st Airborne Division stationed in the Middle East. Daniel, a career soldier with 2 decades of service, had seen his share of conflicts, but Elena was an enigma. She joined his unit 6 months ago, her file pristine yet sparse, her skills unmatched yet her past shrouded in mystery. She moved with a predator's grace, her tactical mind outpacing even his, and yet she defied orders with a boldness that bordered on reckless. That morning, she'd saved 3 men from an ambush, her quick thinking turning a potential massacre into a retreat, but she'd done it her way, ignoring his direct command to hold position. Now, as the squad regrouped, her defiance had reached a boiling point. "Lieutenant Vasquez," Daniel said, his voice steady but firm, "you disobeyed a direct order. Explain yourself." Elena's lips curled into a faint smirk, her dark hair pulled back tightly, revealing the sharp lines of her face. "With all due respect, sir, holding position would have gotten us all killed. I adapted. That's why I'm here." The men behind her shifted uncomfortably, their loyalty to her evident, yet their respect for rank keeping them silent. Daniel's jaw tightened. He'd heard the whispers, some called her a hero, others a loose cannon. But it was her audacity, that sweetheart jab, that stuck with him. It wasn't just the word, it was the way she said it, like a challenge wrapped in velvet.